Hey everybody, I always see a lot of people with questions on gut hooks and stuff and how to make them and everything. And I've used one for probably over 30 years now in my deer hunting. We always process our own pork and used to do beef too, so I thought I'd jump on here. I've made a whole bunch of these gut hooks and have kind of got a pretty good design down and a process for making them, so I thought I'd jump on here and show everybody. One of the main things you want to do is the design of it. You want to make sure that when you're using that gut hook, that the point of your knife isn't getting in the way of things that you don't want to poke. So you want to have a good drop point to it, to where when you're using that gut hook, then that point's going to be out of the way. So the first thing is the design and getting that right. I see a lot of gut hooks that you want to have your hook pointing, as close to your point as you can. If you point it more this way, then you're going to be tipping that knife and getting the point into places you don't want it. So that's the first thing on it. Now, on as far as grinding the gut hooks and stuff, I used to grind them with a little Dremel tool with a 1/4 inch sanding drum on it. I've since gone to making them on my grinder. One good tip too is, I guess I'll show you how I start out with my blades. A lot of people will take a regular knife design and try and grind a gut hook into it. And I found the best way to do it is, these are ones that I have New Jersey Steel Baron water jet for me. But I have it done with this bump up here. And so that gives you a lot better area to grind that gut hook into, instead of just having a regular drop point shape and then trying to grind it into it. So when you're first designing, here's something you can use. I jump that up. That's probably 3/8 of an inch or so, and I use the 1/2 inch small wheel on my grinder, 2x72 grinder, to grind these. So it gives me a good area to start into. You can kind of see the comparison, of what it starts with and what it ends with when the gut hook's ground. I'll warn you ahead of time here, I'm not a videographer or anything, so we're going to jump around here, and I'll go back to the grinder and show you my setup for it. Like I say, I use the 1/2 inch small wheel on there. And one thing I've done, see if we can get this to where you can see it here. I've made little spacer blocks so it jumps my wheel out past my holder here. You can see the bearings just barely sticking out. You can see kind of part of the holder there. But when I grind them, I will grind, pretty sharp angle to it. That lets them cut good, and then you don't have to grind a secondary bevel, a sharpening bevel on them. And I'll grind these. I'll start out with a 120 grit, and I'll go clear up to a 600 grit on these, and then that'll set my gut hook in there and everything. And then the next thing I'll do, I made this tool here. It's it was a piece of inch aluminum shaft, and I just turned it down on my lathe to a 1/2 inch, and then I can wrap sandpaper around that, and then I can put the knife in the vise here, and then I'll wrap the paper around this tool here. And I'll usually use either 600 grit or 800 grit paper to sand with, and then you can just put the tool in there and slowly sand that. The nice thing about doing it on the 2x72, you'll have your grind marks from your belt, and then when you're hand sanding it, you can just, once those are gone, then you've pretty well got it sharpened. And then let me set back up on my stand here. Once I get done with that with 600 or 800 grit, I mean, you can tell they're good sharp gut hooks, and they work good. Even this is some 9 to 10 ounce leather. You can see that it'll just cut leather like nothing. So hopefully that helps you out if you're trying to make a gut hook. Give you a few design ideas and how I do it. So hopefully that helps you out. Thanks.